Actions will certainly have consequences. Pak's policy of cross-border terrorism will never succeed. This bold warning has been issued by Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to Pakistan at the United Nations. Jaishankar did not hold back any punches as he issued the strongest warning yet by India to its infamous neighbour on the global stage. Absolutely tearing into Pakistan, the Indian EAM stated, quote, "A dysfunctional nation coveting the lands of others must be exposed and must be countered." We heard some bizarre assertions from it at this forum yesterday, so let me make India's position perfectly clear. Pakistan's cross-border terrorism policy will never succeed, and it can have no expectations of impunity. On the contrary, actions will certainly have consequences, unquote. This bold warning by India comes even as New Delhi got the backing of 4 of the P5 members for a permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council. Jaishankar's statement also comes days after Pakistani Prime Minister tried to link the status of Jammu and Kashmir to that of Gaza or Palestine. But Sharif's statement found no takers. Even the Turkish President Erdogan, who has often mentioned the K issue in the past, stayed well clear of mentioning Kashmir in this year's speech due to India's no-tolerance policy towards interference in its internal affairs. Jaishankar meanwhile pressed on, exposing Pakistan's terror policy. Scolding Pakistan, the Indian EAM roared, quote, "The issue to be resolved between us is now only the vacation of illegally occupied Indian territory by Pakistan and of course the abandonment of Pakistan's long-standing attachment to terrorism," unquote. While India will become the 3rd biggest global economy before 2030, its smaller neighbour Pakistan is in the midst of its worst economic crisis since independence in 1947 and is surviving on bailouts from fellow Islamic nations or global bodies like the IMF. Jaishankar showed the mirror to Pakistan, saying it is karma for Islamabad's terror policy, adding, quote, "Many countries get left behind due to circumstances beyond their control, but some make conscious choices with disastrous consequences. A premier example is our neighbour Pakistan. Unfortunately, their misdeeds affect others as well, especially the neighbourhood." When this policy instills such fanaticism among its people, its GDP can only be measured in terms of radicalization and its exports in the form of terrorism. Today, we see the ills it sought to visit on others consume its own society, and it can't blame the world. It is only karma, unquote. Jaishankar's verbal spanking of Pakistan follows Islamabad's admission that it fears Indian military power. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif had highlighted how his administration lives in fear of a surprise attack by India to reclaim Gilgit-Baltistan or Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Pakistan Prime Minister had earlier revealed at the United Nations, quote, "It or India is engaged in massive expansion of its military capabilities which are essentially deployed against Pakistan. Its war doctrines envisage a surprise attack and a limited war under the nuclear overhang," unquote. Sharif's concerns are real. Today, Indian military capabilities far exceed those of Pakistan. Be it the Indian Army that carried out surgical strikes inside Pakistan in 2016 after the Uri terror attack, or the Indian Air Force which entered Pakistan to bomb a terror hideout in Balakot in 2019. While the Indian Navy has a far superior surface warship and submarine fleet, while it also has 2 aircraft carriers which will soon be armed with Rafale marine fighter jets from France. Today, Pakistan cannot risk standing up to India in any military conflict. However, India has always advocated restraint. Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh even offered bankrupt Pakistan economic aid if it abandons its state-sponsored terror policy. Rajnath Singh's comment would certainly come as a slap on the face of Pakistan as he dared, quote, "If there had been a better relationship, we would have given more money to Pakistan than what they have asked from the International Monetary Fund." Prime Minister Modi has given a special PM package for Jammu and Kashmir in 2014-15. That PM package has now increased, and it is so much money that Pakistan was requesting to IMF for lesser funds than this, unquote. While Rajnath Singh has offered an olive branch to Pakistan, it also comes with a bold warning. Indian Defence Minister added, quote, "I want to make it clear to those sitting on the other side of the border or in Pakistan, planning to harm India, that if there's any terrorist attack in India, we will strike them wherever they are, unquote. Exposing Pakistani propaganda on abrogation of Article 370 in Kashmir, Rajnath Singh added, quote, after the removal of Article 370, people enthusiastically participated in elections. This is the message of change in Jammu and Kashmir. Today, the national flag is being hoisted at Srinagar's Lal Chowk. Today, record number of tourists are visiting Kashmir. Kashmir is also no longer a terrorist hotspot, but a tourism hotspot, unquote. You have your say. Is it time for India to talk to Pakistan in the only language it understands? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.